This one was a challenge because you've seen over 3,000 movies, but here goes nothing. Your four favorites are Lost Highway, Titane, Synecdoche, New York, and After Hours. My top choice for you is Possessor. It's a psychological exploration of identity like Lost Highway with the body horror of Titane. Like Synecdoche, New York, it feels like at times some of the characters are assuming someone else's identity and performing a role. And like After Hours, it feels like a character's life spirals out of their control and escalates into a nightmarish situation. Close Up blurs the line between fiction and reality in a way that I think you'd appreciate since you're a fan of Synecdoche, New York. It also plays with the concept of identity like Lost Highway. Like Titane, it depicts someone assuming another person's identity. And like After Hours, we see how the small choices someone makes can lead to big consequences that get a little out of hand. Caché, like Lost Highway, depicts a married couple receiving videotapes of their home, implying they're under surveillance. It embodies a feeling of existential dread like Synecdoche, New York, and almost feels sort of Kafkaesque like After Hours. Speaking of films that are Kafkaesque, Barton Fink also came to mind. And it's surreal like Lost Highway, and the protagonist is a playwright, which makes me think of how the protagonist in Synecdoche, New York is a theater director. But the first movie I think of when I think of Kafka is naturally The Trial, so I think you might like this one since you're a fan of After Hours. Detour and Kiss Me Deadly were two of Lynch's inspirations for Lost Highway. The Blackout feels like Abel Ferrara's Lost Highway, and it was released the same year, and it plays with the concept of identity in a somewhat similar way where two characters have the same name, whereas in Lost Highway there are two characters played by the same actress. Another movie that does something similar with identity and actresses is that obscure Object of Desire, which has two actresses playing the same character. And this movie, like Lost Highway, is about obsession and desire. Santa Sangre is surreal psychological horror like Lost Highway, with some bizarre imagery and bodily transformations like Titane. It's about performance like Synecdoche, New York, and like After Hours, situations become nightmarish and absurd. Images is a psychological horror film that explores similar themes to Lost Highway, including a character receiving disturbing phone calls. Carnival of Souls has the dreamlike, disorienting vibe of Lost Highway, including a pale man who appears to be stalking the protagonist. It's a horror film like Titane, and it's about death like Synecdoche, New York. The conversation has the paranoia and surveillance elements of Lost Highway and the isolation and existential anxiety of Synecdoche, New York. Holy Motors, like Lost Highway, is a surreal film where identity and reality can shift or feel unstable. Like Titane, a character undergoes transformations and pretends to be someone else. Like Synecdoche, New York, it's about performance and there's a feeling of theatricality to it. And like After Hours, it takes place over the course of a single day with a lot of eccentric characters and absurd situations. I feel like I keep bringing up identity, whether it's the shifting identities in Lost Highway, the way one of the main characters in Titane assumes someone else's identity, or the performance aspect of Synecdoche, New York. So with that in mind, I think you'd enjoy The Face of Another, Three Women, Face Off, and Seconds. Since you like Synecdoche, New York, another film that blurs the line between life and art that's also about obsession, death, performance, and the staging of a theatrical production is All That Jazz. Opening night also has the theatrical performance element of Synecdoche, New York, and like Lost Highway, it feels like we're watching this character's psychological unraveling or disintegration. And I want to recommend The Swimmer because like After Hours, we follow our protagonist over the course of a single day as he meets a bunch of characters and things start to fall out of his control. Like Titane, it starts off one way and then the story kind of evolves into something else as it goes along, and then it really hits you emotionally. Like Lost Highway, we gradually start to question the protagonist's perception of reality. And like Synecdoche, New York, it's depressing, unique, existential, and a powerful reflection on the concept of life as performance and the illusion of control. Targets came to mind because it has two parallel narratives that converge, which kind of reminds me of Titane because this film also has two main characters, one an aging man and the other a killer, and their lives eventually cross paths. And like Synecdoche, New York, it blurs the line between fiction and reality, but in this film it does so as commentary on horror films versus real-life violence.